Good evening, Toronto! Wow! A beautiful night in a beautiful city in the best country in the world, Canada! Wow, thank you very much, Yvonne. Friends, it is so great to be back here in Toronto. It's great to be back home in the GTA. We've got an amazing team of candidates here tonight, and just a few of them, Yvonne Robertson and Don Valley West. And Eglinton Lords, my friend Jeffrey Pollock. And Stephen Taylor and University Rosedale, and many other candidates who are putting our team and our country first. And wouldn't it be great to have a Prime Minister from the GTA? You know, I've been traveling across this great country for the past 5 weeks, meeting Canadians from every walk of life, from every background, from coast to coast, rural to suburban to urban. I've been hearing their stories and listening to their hopes and their fears. And friends, let me tell you, after COVID-19, there is work to be done in this country. Hear, hear. I've been hearing from parents worried that their children will never be able to rent a nice apartment, let alone buy a place to raise their family. We can do better. I've been hearing from grandparents worried about the debt we're passing down to future generations. Friends, we can do better. From coast to coast to coast, I hear about the lack of mental health treatments or wait times for mental wellness approaching 1 year for people in crisis now. We can do better. We must do better, friends. J'entends souvent parler d'un gouvernement déconnecté, d'un gouvernement qui ne comprend pas le stress des Canadiens, surtout des familles. Le stress de mettre de la nourriture sur la table, le stress d'équilibrer le budget familial et le stress d'épargner pour l'avenir. Mes amis, on devrait faire mieux et on doit faire mieux. Let's be frank. The challenges our country faces over the next decade are significant. We are in the fourth wave of a deadly pandemic, a continuation of 18 months where Canadians have suffered far too much and lost far too many. We're facing an economy that is shrinking alongside historic levels of debt and borrowing that will be passed down to the next generation. We face a cost of living crisis where the very basics of life, a home to raise your family in, food to put on the table, a car to get to work, are increasingly out of touch for thousands of Canadians. We face the dire situation where everything is going up except paychecks in this country. Le Canada traverse une crise du coût de la vie. On est dans une situation très difficile. Tout augmente, sauf vos chèques de paie. Friends, well-meaning words are not enough. Empty promises are not enough. Photo ops from a disconnected and arrogant Prime Minister are not enough. What we need now is real leadership. More than ever, Canada needs to rise to the challenge. More than ever, Canada's leaders need to rise to the challenge. More than ever, now is the time for action. When I became the leader of Canada's Conservatives, I knew we had to face up to these challenges. I knew that we were the only party who could tackle these challenges. And that, friends, is why we put together Canada's Recovery Plan. We need an ambitious plan to tackle rising living costs, restore jobs, make housing affordable, and improve health care. This is a plan to recover 1 million jobs in 1 year. It is a plan to deliver nearly $60 billion more for our public health care. After 6 years of Justin Trudeau and his close friends, this is a plan to clean up the mess in Ottawa. It's a plan to properly help those Canadians suffering from poor mental health. It's a plan to prepare for future pandemics with a made-in-Canada vaccine production plan. It's a plan to build 1 million houses in 3 years. It's a plan to balance the budget. It's a plan to ban foreign owners from crowding out young Canadians from homes in their own community. It is a plan to get Canada back on its feet. I've said that we need to be bold, that we need to face up to the challenges Canadians are facing. And my friends, a Conservative government will deliver. On va livrer les marchandises partout, dans chaque région du pays. Et cela inclut nos compatriotes de la nation québécoise. Durant cette élection, nous avons présenté nos engagements solennels envers le Québec. Mon contrat avec les Québécoises et les Québécois. Un gouvernement conservateur va agir pour augmenter le pouvoir du Québec en immigration. Agir pour protéger la langue française en appliquant la loi 101 aux entreprises à charge fédérale. Agir pour augmenter les transferts en santé chaque année sans condition. Agir pour faire une place aux nationalistes québécoises autour de la table des décisions. Et agir pour instaurer un fédéralisme de partenariat. Ensemble, mes amis, on va respecter les compétences des provinces, on va agir pour l'avenir et on va agir pour le Québec. It is great to see such a bilingual crowd here tonight. Well done. Friends, in the final stretch and sprint of this election campaign, I have asked Canadians a simple but very important question. Are we as a country prepared to reward Justin Trudeau for calling an unnecessary $600 million election in the middle of a pandemic? But as we look ahead to tomorrow, I would like to ask Canadians to think of something else just as important. What will happen if Justin Trudeau is rewarded for calling this unnecessary $600 million election in a pandemic? Entitlement. You're right, because every parent knows the last thing you want to do is reward bad behavior. When bad behavior is rewarded, things only get worse. Now, that's not that my kids are perfect, so they're never, right, guys? You'd think, just look at the last election if you don't believe me. You would think a prime minister who lost the popular vote, lost his majority in Parliament, sees a country becoming fractured at the seams. You'd think he would become more humble. You think he would become more collaborative. You think he would become more inclusive. But no, Justin Trudeau got worse. Just ask Jody Wilson-Raybould. Instead, we got a prime minister with more arrogance, more entitlement. We got the We Charity scandal and its cover-up. We got a special deal for liberals in a pandemic. We got cover-ups of sexual misconduct allegations in our military. And finally, we got, how much did this election cost? $600 million election, only a couple of months after Justin Trudeau said he would never call one. Friends, we deserve better than Justin Trudeau. Like so many celebrities, Justin Trudeau does not learn from his mistakes. And if he is rewarded on Monday, he will only continue to politicize the pandemic, but only worse than before. He will continue to drive up prices, but only worse. And yes, he will call another election whenever he thinks he can win more power, because he was already threatened to do that. Encore plus d'arrogance et une élection de 600 millions de dollars au milieu d'une pandémie. Comme beaucoup de célébrités, Justin Trudeau n'apprend pas de ses erreurs. Et s'il est récompensé lundi, il va continuer de faire la politique avec la pandémie. Mais c'est encore pire. Il va continuer d'augmenter la dette, mais c'est encore pire. Il va continuer d'augmenter les prix, mais c'est encore pire. Et oui, il va déclencher une autre élection quand il va penser qu'il peut gagner plus de pouvoir. A lot of Canadians, you know, too many Canadians, are scared right now. Prices are out of control. Spending is out of control. Secure jobs are harder to find. When they look to the future, they're not filled with hope. Too many Canadians are frightened. Justin Trudeau wants you to stay home tomorrow. Justin Trudeau wants you to split the vote by voting PPC. He wants you to let him get away with it. There's only one way to get change. There's only one way to show Justin Trudeau the door tomorrow, and that's to vote Conservative. Il n'y a qu'une seule façon d'obtenir du changement. Il n'y a qu'une façon de montrer la porte à Justin Trudeau demain, et c'est de voter Conservateur. Mr. Trudeau has had his chance. It's time you had yours. He started this pandemic election, but you can finish it. Your vote is your voice. Your vote is your power. Your vote can teach Mr. Trudeau a lesson and deliver the change that Canada so desperately needs. Votez pour agir pour la relance économique. Votez pour agir pour l'avenir. Votez Conservateur. Friends, a final message here to you from my home region. For Canada, vote tomorrow for economic recovery. Vote to secure the future. Vote for a united Canada. Vote Conservative. Thank you very much, Toronto. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you.